Oh, well, so I don't even know what highlight number you are, Dee Dee, but I'll just do my introduction. You all, I am Angie Griffin, Angelina Griffin, and I am the host of Caffeine and Connections, and I'm back with another highlight. So excited to have Miss Dee Dee Patterson here. Dee Dee Patterson, uh, of Finding Love Online. So, and for those that don't know, Caffeine and Connections is a weekly event where we talk about a little bit of everything, but the whole point is to connect. Is Black professionals connecting online within a virtual space, and we're networking. But the highlights are so people who come to our weekly events, our weekly meetups are able to come and we can get a one-on-one. And we want the world to learn about you, right? The one-on-ones are powerful in business because people get a chance to know about you, what you do, hear more about you, give a little bit more insight so that they can learn to trust you, right? So this is like our one-on-one. It's our highlight, but we're exposing you to everyone else.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm super excited to have you, Dee Dee. And so I guess first and foremost, Miss Dee Dee Patterson, tell us where you are calling in from today and I guess what you do and why you attend Caffeine and Connections. We'll start with that.
Okay. Yeah, so my name is Dee Dee Patterson, like you said, and I am living near the Baltimore area, about 15 miles outside of Baltimore, Maryland. And I originally joined Caffeine and Connections because somehow we were connected on Facebook. So I sent you a friend request. You actually started watching the YouTube channel, and then you invited me to Cafe and Connections, and I was like, okay, because I was hearing, because I have a lot of coaches, and one of my coaches suggested that I start networking more, and so that I got that invite at just the right time, and so I forgot about it. and then and then I had like a free Friday, and I was like, "Oh, let me just jump on." And I did, and everyone there is pretty cool, and it's just interesting interacting with other entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you did because, when you come to Caffeine and Connections, you can kind of see that some people are in one particular industry or some of them are in the same type of fields, right? And I was so glad when you came because although you have your 9 to 5, and we'll talk about that, how I met you was based off of your YouTube channel. So you added another element to our group. And I am a lover of love, right? I'm a big lover of love. And I always say everything I do is based on what we call in hip hop culture the H law, which is health, love, awareness, and wealth. And I
Mm.
don't get a chance to cover love as often as I would love to. So I'm so glad that you have started coming to our group and that we have this opportunity today because we got to promote it. We have to talk about it more. We want to promote it. And I want to be able to share, what you're doing because I think what you have is absolutely needed, right? So we want more people to know about it.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a lag. I'm not sure if you've seen it on your side. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm not sure.
No, I didn't know that, but that's good to know. So I didn't
I
notice
just
it.
wasn't sure if I was like, I don't think it's me. I don't know. Either way it goes, this is technology, so everyone
Okay.
they'll pick up on it. We'll be fine. So yes, so Dee Dee, finding love online, right, is your
Right.
YouTube channel. I kind of want to start with that, but we won't because
I want to start
because
that too.
we want to jump. I want to jump right in, right? But the goal is to learn your story, right? Like, who is
Okay.
Dee Dee Patterson? Like, we know that you're in the Maryland area, but I think knowing the backstory as to why you do what you do is so important. So let's start, like, with why you actually started your YouTube channel.
Good. Yeah. So I so the YouTube channel is the Finding Love Online, our Flow. I like acronyms, so I was like, ooh, nice acronym, Flow. Um, I it's about couples who met on dating apps. And I met my husband on a dating app. I actually grew up like never dating. Like I didn't start dating. I didn't have my first boyfriend until graduate school. And so my entire life, so elementary, because some people actually dated in elementary school.
Elementary school.
Elementary, yeah, there's people who had their boyfriend girlfriends in elementary school. Wasn't me. So middle school, high school, undergraduate college. I went to a black school and I didn't have a boyfriend. So it wasn't until graduate school, I went to the University of Maryland in College Park, that I had my first boyfriend because I was so shy around guys. And so and I was one of those people who love romantic comedies. I always dreamed about meeting a guy, but I was just too shy to actually date. And I was very religious, and you know how they tell women to just let the guy find you and all that stuff. So I didn't have my first boyfriend until graduate school. Lasted 2 months because I was so insecure and shy. I didn't want to do anything that would upset him, and so I just didn't have personality. I was like, it was just,
No
yeah, I
way.
was.
That's hard to believe.
I know, right? Yeah,
Ugh.
things changed since then. So it was just like me, whatever you know, almost like coming to America, you know, whatever you like, you know, no personality. So so what did I do? So yeah, so then right after graduate school, I actually decided to move down south to Montgomery, Alabama. Both of my parents are from Alabama. My dad was in the army, and so we ended up in Maryland somehow. But both of my parents met in high school, and they got married. They lived in Montgomery, Alabama, and my grandmother was like, "Oh, there's a lot of tall black men at my church. You should come down here." And so that was my motivation to move to Montgomery, Alabama, and I wanted to buy a house. And I ended up buying a house for like 90,000, 3 bed, 2 bath for ninety
What? What
thousand.
year was
Did not
this?
what year was that? It was 2020. No, it wasn't. It's not 2020. 2005. Around
Okay.
2005
Okay.
occurred.
Okay. Gotcha.
And so yeah, I could afford a house. Cannot in the Maryland area. I could not do that right after graduate school. So then I went and I forgot your original question, but let me just keep going. Oh, how I met my husband is what I'm doing. So when I so once I moved down to Alabama, lived in my own place, became more independent, I became more confident, and I just kept dating a lot. And for some reason, like I stopped dating a guy, I'll just meet another guy, all in person. I dated so regularly that I got very comfortable with dating, got very comfortable with interacting with men. And by the time that I met my husband, I was I was actually someone a guy would be interested in.
Well,
So,
could we pause there? Because now I have
yeah.
questions.
Okay, sure, sure, sure.
I want to know, like, the confidence level. Like, how did it shift? Like, how do you go from not having the confidence to now being this? I don't want to call you a serial dater, but like the person that is confident now in your own skin, where you're just dating.
Yeah, I think what it was just living on my own. You have to speak up a lot, like buying a house, dealing with realtors, dealing with you just have to speak up a lot. So I think the confidence came from just being independent and having to advocate for myself. But
Um,
then there was also me dating multiple men, and just the more you date the better you get at it. That's what I try to teach the women that I've coached. I was like, you just have to get out there, because some women have gone like a decade without dating. I was like, you can't meet your man just out the blue, like you're rusty. So and I'll talk about it later, but I also teach dating classes at my church, and I was
wow.
in a class with we tried a mixed class, and there was like 190 women to 10 men,
No
but
way.
which is how church is, you know, it's lopsided like that. um but so the guy who one of the men in there, he was in his 40s, I'm in my mid 40s, and he mentioned the problem with women and that he's coming across is they hadn't dated in a long time and they expect to meet their prince charming. And he said it's almost like wanting to go to the Olympics without ever running a race. So he
Without
said
practicing,
that.
yeah.
And I was like, that is so good because a lot of times women, they haven't dated forever and then they're trying to meet guys. So one of the things I do as a dating coach is get women dating. And then the more, because at first it's like scary, but once you start dating, it's not as scary as it seems.
Right.
And so for me, that's what happened with me. I actually started dating. So I went that long period of time not dating at all, scared of talking to men. But then once I started dating, and they're like, oh, they're just like everybody else. They're just guys. And and another good thing about me just going back to back dates like that is I learned what I wanted, what I didn't want. I knew um, exactly what I was looking for. So by the time I met my husband, I was like, okay, yep, this is, he checks all the boxes of what the other guys didn't have. So that was another thing is just that I learned myself a lot more by going on more dates regularly.
Yeah, I think that's awesome, and that's such a good point that you made. I love that. I love that you found yourself through your
Right.
independence, and that just kind of got you to where you felt more comfortable. I think that's important for some people to hear because you never know. Somebody might be where you once were, right? And just
Right.
kind of nervous and not really sure and not being good at it. So they can hire you now.
Yeah. You
They can
can hire
hire
me.
you to get their
Yeah.
feet wet, right? To learn how to
Yeah.
do that. But that's awesome. So, okay, so then now you're at this church. You're so
Oh,
wait, at the
yeah.
church, is that when you were teaching or is that the church that your grandmother told you to go to?
Yeah, so my grandmother told me to go down south, and she's like, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of tall black because I'm tall. I'm like 5'10", so my
Okay.
grandma just knew I wanted a tall guy. But by the time I went down there, they were all married. Everyone was married, and so I was like one of the few single people in the church that I went to. But somehow I don't know. It was just like I would date a guy for a while, and then all of a sudden I'll be in a store, and then I'll give my number to somebody else. I was regularly meeting guys, and there I didn't really have any standards. It was just like, oh, he's cute, I could date him. But when I met my husband, I he was no, okay. Let me back up a little bit. So the guy before my husband, we could do that. The guy I met, I met before my husband, one of my coworkers matched me up with a guy. He wasn't at my church, but he was a different church, and he was kind of a preacher at that church. And so we dated for 8 months, and
Mm,
we actually went ring shopping.
wow.
And when we went ring shopping that night, it was just to pick out the ring. That night, I had this like feeling of, I don't know if I want to marry him. I had this
Mhm.
feeling. I was like, he doesn't really match what I was looking for because I already had my list. I had my
By
checklist.
then you had
And
your list.
yeah, yeah, I had a list. And my list is probably like 10 things, and he probably matched like two of them. Like he was a Christian. He matched that. But
Because he was a preacher.
yeah, yeah, he was a Christian, he was a preacher. Um so he matched that. He'd never been married before. That was something on my list. Didn't have kids. Okay, maybe he met like three. But other things, he wasn't tall.
Okay.
And I have a preference. I love my darker brothers. He
Hmm.
wasn't dark.
Yeah.
So, and then his personality, even though he was a preacher, there was like a mean, almost what's a good word that says almost a little controlling, a little bit look
Hmm.
side to him. And so I had this feeling of dread. I was like, do what do I do? And so I prayed about it, and then I decided to break up with him. So I broke up with him the next day. Of course, he was upset and stuff. But I felt this freedom of like, whoo, that felt good. So I went, I was just enjoying my freedom for like 3 weeks. And I decided to spend a day all Saturday watching Lifetime movies, just
Hmm.
relaxing because Another thing that I didn't like about him, it was like if I wasn't at work, we were on the phone 24/7, and that was annoying. That
Based
was
off of what
so
he wanted, pretty much.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, being on the phone 24/7. I realized that's not something I like.
Why do
Um
you I'm just, I have a question about that. Why do you think he was like that? Do you think is he wanted to, is it just he enjoyed talking to you that much, or he just wanted to know where you were and keep you preoccupied?
I don't people like some people that I talk to, they like being with their person 24/7. That wasn't me. Some members of my family, they were like that with their girlfriends, and
Okay.
they like being with each other. But a thing I like about my husband, we both like space. We don't have to be like that
Attached
24/7.
to the
And
hip.
I exactly. And I think the guy right before him, he was the same way. Like he was attached, and I was like, "Give me some space," and yeah. So it's just preferences, I guess.
Okay.
But for me, I like space, and so yeah. So 3 weeks later, after breaking up the guy, I was at home watching Lifetime movies, and the Match commercial kept coming on over and over again. And when I was watching the Match commercial, I was like, "That doesn't work. It's a dating app." But it kept coming on because I was watching Lifetime movies that whole Saturday. And it just kept coming on. It's okay to look. It's okay to look. And then so at the end of the evening, it was almost just to prove that it doesn't work. I was like, let me just go on. And then I put in all the things of what I would want in my perfect guy. So
Hmm.
the tall, over 6 feet tall, never married, no kids, lived within 20 miles of me, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, and one person came up. Only one person.
Just one person.
And one person, yeah. And I was so shocked. I was like, there's a guy out there who matches everything that I would want. I was so shocked. But then I was like, I'm the girl, I'm not gonna do anything. And then I just went to bed. So so then later the next day was Sunday, that was a Saturday, Sunday. I couldn't get him out of my head. I was like, there's a guy out there who matches everything I'm looking for.
There's one person in this
Yeah.
world.
Yes. And so I finally I talked to my brother. My brother is also a preacher. So I
Okay.
talked to my brother because you know how guy I grew up all the time saying the guy needs to find you and all this stuff. And my brother's
Hmm.
like, go ahead and send him a message. Talk to my sister, send him a message. They both said send him a message. My
Hmm.
sister and I wrote the message together and we sent it to him. And I went to bed. I woke up with a message from him. And that Monday at work, we emailed each other because it was back in the day, 2020. Was it, what year was it? I don't know. I think it was 2009 by then.
Okay.
It was 2009. We emailed each other. We moved to text the same day, and then he told me he'll call me. So he called me that evening, and went on a date that Wednesday, and we just been together ever since.
That's wild. Can you, like,
Yeah.
what are the odds, right? Like, you go on Match because you've seen a commercial over and over. It was almost like it was calling your name, like, come on, just come on
Hmm.
to the other side. And you were
Yeah.
like, let me just see.
Yeah, so I realized I didn't answer your original question. So your original question is why did I start it? So my husband and I we've been married for 15 years now,
Hmm.
and I just wondered like did anybody else meet like their perfect match on dating apps?
But let's
And so
rewind, though. Let's rewind. So you met
okay,
him, you had your date, and now you're
yeah.
married.
Yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
not only that, but when we had our first date, like there were like sparks all over the place. I felt it was like so magnetic. It just I was like, wow. Like the first time I met him, during our first conversation, it was so easy to talk to him.
Wow.
Like if I've never experienced talking to a guy so easily as I did with him, and
Mm.
um, some of the people that I'm interviewing for the Finding Love Online YouTube channel,
Mhm.
they're saying very similar things. Like that was what I noticed is like, did anyone else experience this where they met their perfect match and just the magical feeling? Like they're using these same words that I was feeling. Oh yeah, it was magical. I've never talked so easily with someone I've never met before. Like
Yeah.
they're saying the same things. And
Yeah.
so the YouTube channel allows me to highlight other people who experience what I experience. So,
That's beautiful. I do know because I've watched pretty much I think all the videos on your Finding Love Online. And one of the
yeah,
questions that you asked them is, did you think it was love at first sight? So
right.
when you met your match, your now husband, when y'all met, do you feel like it was love at first sight?
It was not love at first sight. I I think he's told me he loved me 3 weeks later after we met
Okay.
in person. He told me he loved me 3 weeks later, and when he said it to me, I felt, yeah, I love you too. But it was too early. We He was cute. He was my type, tall, dark. He was definitely my type,
Mm-hmm.
and I was very attracted to him. And but no, I don't think so. I think when we said it 3 weeks later, yes,
But it
which
was
was
only
only
3 weeks
3 weeks.
after meeting.
Say it again.
It was only 3 weeks after meeting one another.
Yeah, it was 3 weeks later. He told me he loved me,
That's
and
amazing.
yeah,
Wow.
but yeah, I think we felt like we were like each other's perfect matches. Just like a lot of the stories that we're telling on the YouTube channel, that they felt like this is my person. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So I love the story, right? Because I've even watched, the story between you and your husband and how y'all have been married now for 15 years after
Yeah.
meeting online. I think that's amazing. So yeah, so you did answer the question with finding love online, but let's back up a little bit more even. So because you said you didn't start dating until graduate school. And then
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you, you said you went to a HBCU.
I did. Yeah.
Which college did you go to, if you don't mind sharing?
So I went to Morgan State, which
Oh,
is in
Morgan
Baltimore,
State.
Maryland. And it was important to me because I grew up, I heard one of your other guests, and I had the opposite experience where I grew up in a like predominantly white environment.
Okay.
And I was mostly in like AP honors classes, and I was like one of the only black people in all my classes. And it was very hard on me. I almost felt like I grew up feeling like I had to prove myself. Like I was
Mm,
always feeling like I have to prove that I belong in this class. I have to prove that I belong here. So that was something I struggled with growing up, was just proving that I belong. So when I went to Morgan State, it was just an all black environment. A whole bunch of smart black people, which I didn't encounter a lot, because
mm,
most of when I was in school, a lot of the black students were in the special education class. I don't know how that worked out,
mm.
but it was good being with other educated black people who were going after getting good grades. So it I loved my 4 years at a HBCU. It was an amazing experience.
I love Morgan. I actually I did a presentation there at one of the
Hmm.
classes when I was, because I used to sell real estate in Maryland. So I did
Oh,
a presentation at Morgan State with some students. But yeah, I love that school. That was one of the schools I wanted to go to between there and Howard, and I
hmm.
didn't get a chance to go. So I'm glad you did. But,
Yeah, that's
but as
good.
you're talking, I'm thinking, right? Like based off of the way you grew up in your childhood before you got to HBCU, I'm just curious, do you think, coming up in the environment which you did, like mostly predominantly white, non-black, do you think that maybe have had something to do with you being a little bit more shy and reserved,
Yes.
besides going to church? Because we know, church is church, but most times you go to
Yeah,
church, it's usually people that look like you. I don't know about
it
your church.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I went to a church that was predominantly black, but growing up, I grew up very insecure because I was like one of the only black people. And I just
Mm,
I had to felt like I proved myself. And then the thing about going to an HBCU is like everything is catered to you. Like all the speakers are for you. Everything is for you. Like we had Felicia Rashad from the Cosby Show, the Aaron Magruder who did Boondocks. We had all these
mhm.
black speakers come in. Everything was catered towards black culture.
Right.
Whereas when I was in school, nothing catered towards, so I always felt like an outsider. It was like nothing, like people are listening to hard rock music, and that was the what was playing at proms, and so it wasn't me. So
Right.
yeah, so I was just growing up in an environment where everything wasn't for me. I was just like kind of on the outside.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I could see that how that could have an effect on your comfort level even within
Hmm.
yourself because that's kind of, you know, it just kind of and that's probably that's a long time, right? If you're growing up that way before college. Was only what 4 years before you went to grad school.
Right, exactly. And then
Mm.
after college and grad school, it was the same way in the nine with my 9 to 5. I was
Yeah.
dealing with the majority of my career I spent in leadership,
Hmm.
and I was the only like black leader. So I'm dealing with me leading people differently from me, and then me being treated differently by both the employees and my supervisors. And so I just had to deal with that roughness. This is after marriage, but it was still a conflict I had to deal with. Just navigating being in a supervisory position and not being treated the same as other supervisors and employees, um, allowed to get away with stuff that,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
No. Yeah, I can see that. And that's, we talk about that in Caffeine and Connections, right? Because different people are in different, especially women, black women, different roles in corporate
mm-hmm,
America, just trying to deal. And as we've seen right now in this political climate, there's so many of us that are getting laid off left and right. And,
mm-hmm,
and in most environments, and I've worked in environments like this as well, where there's not that many of us,
mm-hmm,
you
yeah,
know. I mean, where I am now, I see more, but, a while back, you didn't see that many.
right.
So, and if you're in a leadership position, I can see how that's tough for you. So, from then, like, how is it for you now in that with that 9 to 5?
That's a great question.
Is it the same?
I mean, I'm assuming it's going to always be the same, but what's
Okay.
different now is that, which I love, 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 that my 9 to 5, probably in like 2017, so it's been about 8 years, they introduced an executive coaching,
Oh,
free
yeah.
executive coaching, and so I was able to. I mean, I still have I've had executive coaches ever since they started because I got addicted to them. But but I have an executive coach, and I went outside of work that I like when some of the senior leaders retire, I keep them as an executive coach because they're so good.
Oh,
But
nice.
the executive coaches helped me navigate those type of situations where I when I first got into leadership, I did not handle it well.
Okay.
Um, I have we didn't talk a lot about my background, but I grew up with a lot of strong black women.
Hmm.
So my mom was a very strong black woman. Um, her, my grandmother, my aunts, my great mother. So they're strong, and so when something's not going our way and things aren't and people aren't treating us right, what's natural is to lash out, and that's what I witnessed them do, to tell people off and all that stuff. And you can't really do that in a work environment. And
Right.
I've learned that I mean I didn't it was just I didn't handle, like, I was very emotional. I just didn't handle the bad treatment that well. But through executive coaching for almost 10 years now, I've learned how to manage my emotions. I've learned how to control um, myself. I've learned how to not react to people treating me badly. I've learned all of these skills that I teach in dating coaching.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've noticed that a lot of women who have trouble maintaining relationships, they're dealing with not being able to control their emotions, not being able to communicate how they're feeling, or responding out of anger. So,
Let's talk about that, and I'm so glad that you mentioned that. And we didn't get a chance to talk about your childhood, but since you brought it up, being raised by strong black women,
mm-hmm,
a lot of us have, most of us have strong black women that have raised us. So you've seen, how they react. But what you've seen is the reactions based off of what was happening in the family or in the household. You didn't necessarily see how they would react in the workforce, right?
Oh, that's a good question. So with my mom, she I knew she had a temper, and I always saw the backlash from it.
Hmm.
My the women in my family who got angry easily, they're they have all passed away, because
Okay.
that's not good for your health to be
Right.
that type of person. And I've learned that that was my example. And through executive coaching, I've learned that that's not how you're supposed to respond to situations. And I think a lot of black women still respond that way. Like, we're taught to, you need to tell them off, you need to, because we have been beaten up so much that
Yes.
that's that's what we're taught to do.
Hmm.
And so I've learned that that's not the way to do it. You're not weak if you learn how to manage your emotions, and you learn not to, that you don't have to tell everybody off when they
Right.
upset you. I've learned all of that. And those, again, those are the skills that I'm teaching women, who they get upset with their date, and they just start going off, and then they're like, he ghosted me. I don't know why he ghosted me. And I'm like, like, I know exactly why he ghosted you. So so yeah, so those are the skills that I'm teaching women, because we're the example we're taught growing up is the direct opposite. We're told to just, you need to tell them off, so kind of
Hmm.
thing.
Okay.
So
So I see it now. I see where we're going here. I see where we're going.
yeah.
In your 9 to 5, you had executive coaching, which now transfers over to you and your ability to be a dating coach.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it helped. Yeah, managing emotions, because a lot of what leadership is, I've had like 6 leadership positions in the last, I mean, the biggest is not the last one. The biggest one I've managed, I was over 70 employees.
Hmm.
So the reason I'm able to do that is because I have people skills. I can interact with people. And so those are the skills that translate to dating, to being a dating coach, is teaching people how to teaching women how to interact with men, and teaching those communication skills. And those are the skills that I've mastered through leadership and through executive coaching. Yeah.
Mm, 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 mm. Girl, we're about to have a part two for this interview because in all seriousness, I mean, because okay, so this actually now kind of segues into a whole nother part of this conversation, which is online dating, right? With you being a dating coach and having found love online yourself, and now have interviewed couples who have had success with online
Right.
dating. And being a dating coach, you clearly meet different women. I think that's who you coach, right? The women,
Yeah. Yeah. Mostly I serve women over 40. I
women
have a
over
heart for
40.
them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're a woman over 40, I'm guessing. So you have a
I
heart for
am. I am a woman over 40, but a lot of these women, first, they don't believe they can find love, and
them.
they very much can with online dating. I believe that it expands the dating pool, that there's plenty of men out there for women over 40.
Yeah.
And I believe, again, that one of the biggest things affecting them from meeting the guy is just what how we grew up, what they're taught to be, their defensiveness, being guarded. Like, so those are the things that I help women navigate through. Just
Yeah.
like how badly they're treated, translate it. It almost becomes their personality
Yeah.
of how they react. Yeah.
I think a lot of it, also being a woman over 40 and having other girlfriends who are women over 40 and single, I think a lot of what people struggle with are the childhood traumas, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yep.
triggers, the baggage
Yep.
from past relationships, like you said,
Yep.
the defense mechanisms that folks use. I have to say this, the things that I say is it's just best just to like let it go and have an open mind, have an open heart,
Mm-hmm.
right? Be open, honest, transparent, and allow just to see where it goes. You can only try. You can only
Yeah.
try.
I agree. Like, once I learn better coping skills, once I learned to let stuff go, like, I'm very, like, I don't have grudges, like, just having that freedom. Like
Yes.
it feels way better than having that weight of being upset about every single thing that it just there's so much freedom and not carrying all that baggage with you.
I think you need to say that for the people in the back, Dee Dee. Please say that
Yeah.
one more time.
Yeah, so like my entire life I was holding grudges of everybody who did something wrong to me. Like I grew up in a, that type of environment, but once I just let things go, like nothing gets to me anymore. It's just like letting it go and just moving on. It feels so free. Like it feels so much better. Like there's no baggage, there's nothing I'm holding on to. And so those are the things I'm teaching the women with dating
I
coaching.
love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. So, gosh, yes, like this is where I wish I did have questions written down, but there's no way to like prepare for this conversation, honestly,
Hmm.
because it's good. So we know that you focus on women over 40, right? Because you have a
Hmm.
heart for them. We know that a lot of women over 40 don't feel like that there's space for them, which obviously there is. What would
Hmm.
you say beyond, what you just said, which I thought was perfect? Because online dating can be a bit challenging for women over 40, right? Especially women who have been used to meeting men at the gas station or meeting men at the grocery store, at the mall, or at work or wherever. And now we have this world of online dating, and especially busy, right? Busy career women who don't really have time to go out to meet people. And I learned this one thing. A guy told me recently, actually, that in the world we live in now, especially with people that look like us, men don't like to approach women in person anymore because they don't want to
Yeah.
be rejected, right?
Hmm.
What are you gonna
Yeah.
say? You sound like you about to say
Yeah, no,
something.
I agree with that. And with the busy career woman,
Mm-hmm.
online dating's perfect for them. You just
Mm-hmm.
get online, just swipe on the guys you like, and find your guy. It's
But
that
is it
simple.
that easy though? You make it sound like it's just that easy.
I think that because people have so many anxiety and thoughts about it, that it's not as easy. But I met my guy one day on a dating app. But
Mm-hmm.
um,
I think you're a rare. That was a rare
I
occasion.
am. And but I love that I did a story on a couple who met and got married in 17 days.
Yeah.
The story that's going to come out this week is a couple that met in 19 days. So it's not as rare. Like and then I think you commented on a lady who was on for 2 days and she met her guy. So
That is that the one who that was the recent one, right?
yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
was the one. Yeah. It I think it was the safe to love one, the one who
Yeah.
was scared of dating, and she got on, and she met her guy in 2 days.
And he had
So
been on there for 2 years.
yeah, and he was on there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe, yes, I am making it sound easier than it is, but I believe that if you go at it believing, yep, my guy is out there, it will be easier than if you go in, oh, dating apps are terrible. I don't like dating apps, and so that is one of the points of my finding love online YouTube channel is just to help people to change people's mindsets. Like, yes, look at all these couples who are meeting on dating apps. It really works because everybody's saying right now, oh, dating apps don't work. They're terrible, but they are amazing. Like how easily I just did a click, 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 and like my perfect guy showed up, and we're married for 15 years. So I think they're amazing. That it's that easy now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
People just have to not be so guarded. It's like be
right.
guarded, but don't be so guarded where you don't allow love to find you, right?
Exactly. And I wanted to mention something else about executive coaching that I learned the hard way.
Okay.
So, when I used to go into executive coaching sessions, the coach at the time, she'll ask me how's your day, what's going on, and then I'll just spend the whole time talking about what people did to me and talk about what
Mm.
they did to me, how I felt about what they did to me. But then the whole session, she'll be talking about me and what I need to do differently. And it wasn't, this was one of my first executive coaches, but it wasn't until like the end, like with each executive coaches were given like 10 sessions or whatever, that I realized that it's all about me and how I approach things, because guys are going to be guys. They're always going to be the same way, but when you as a woman attract the right guy, it's because you change. It's not because the guys, every guy miraculously changes. It's because you change and you start
Yeah.
attracting the right guy for you. And so that's what I teach women in such a subtle way, because you can't just say you're the problem. You have to, so I would just slowly like teach them different skills, and
Hmm.
then they start meeting guys that way when I teach them different skills of um, of how to interact with men.
No, that's good. That's excellent. Um, it reminds me a little bit of something that I've learned back in my 20s. One of my girlfriends put me onto it. She called it a positive reflection exercise, right?
Hmm.
And what it is what you see in that other person is really reflecting back to you. So
Mm-hmm.
that could be positive or negative. We would do it on a
Right.
positive note, but when you think about it, it's the same for the negative, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
just like you got to kind of put a mirror in your face and just kind of reflect and say, okay, well, let me adjust this.
Yeah, you'll be surprised about how when you change your attitude, everyone changes their attitude towards you. It's
Hmm.
so miraculous how it happens. With my husband, I was just so shocked that he matched everything that I wanted, that I immediately started to love him. Like I
Oh,
treated him so well, because I was like, he matches what I'm looking for. Like I didn't treat him like, oh no, he's a man and let me guard. It was just like I already love him because I already like him because he matches what I'm looking for. And so my attitude towards him was positive, and um, his attitude became positive towards me. And so it's almost as easy as that.
wow,
When
Dee
you're on a
Dee.
dating site, it's just you approaching dating in a positive way, and then you're just going to attract guys because you're a positive person. They're like, oh, I want to be around her, and it's that easy. So when they start ghosting you, they're seeing something from you that they don't like. It's not because they don't know how to call you consistently. They don't want to call you consistently because
Right.
they see something that they don't like in you. And so they rather be around someone who's more positive and warm and a safe person. Because guys want women who are safe to be around too, just like
Yeah.
we want to see. So when they sense like, oh, she gets upset easily, or oh, she's negative towards me, I'm I'm gonna stop calling. So
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
And that's so good. And I'm so glad you pointed that out. And something else that you said that it made me think, oh my gosh, it was, I think it just slipped, but you mentioned about the, what was it? Not, it wasn't about, okay, it's gonna have to come back to me because it was there and it just left, but it was so, so good, so good. So yeah, I'm so glad. Oh, I know what it was. It was you pointing out, to be positive. Some people that may have been, let's say, for instance, a woman has met her person, like, same as you, right? Where only one person matched and then they
Hmm.
talked, where your mindset was so positive, you immediately knew you could love him, right? But you have
Hmm.
some people who self sabotage and say, oh no, he's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. It's got to be something wrong. Instead of just saying, you know what, this is my person. He matched
That
everything.
is that's very accurate. And sometimes it upsets me as a dating coach when I know that they met a really good guy, but they self sabotage the relationship. And so
Yeah.
that's like, because I helped them meet a good guy, and they said, well, he said this and this, and when I'm listening to it, I don't hear anything wrong, but sometimes things are going in our head based on past experiences that affect the future relationship. So right now I have a pure mind about almost everything, and so when a woman said, well, he said this, and that mean, they're already thinking, oh, when we're married, he's going to treat me like this, and I was like, there was nothing there. So I have to deal with that sometimes people, women, we get in our heads about things that
Yes.
are not there. So
So true. I'm guilty of that 100%. Yeah. The in our heads, overthinkers is what they call us,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's so good. I'm so glad you pointed that out. You are helping someone right now. This
Good.
sharing of your story, I believe, is going to help someone where their mindset will shift. And my hope is that they go right directly to your YouTube channel. So we're going to have
Mm-hmm.
to I'm going to make sure I put that link into the description so they can get there. But let's talk a little bit more about your coaching because I want people to understand. It sounds like, I mean, you've already pointed out some benefits, right? Because you doing your executive coaching definitely transferred over to you being a coach on the relationship
Yeah.
side. But let's tell the women over 40 one of the reasons why it's in their best interest to get coaching from you.
Yeah, so a couple of reasons. First, again, I love coaches. I always have a coach, and I probably will always have one because you just have someone who's on the outside looking in. And again, I do it too. I have thoughts in my head that may not be accurate, especially when it comes to business. So it's good for me to have like business coaches or someone talking to me. But as far as love, I've been wherever women have been. And so I'm gonna help them navigate through whatever has kept them stuck. And most of the time, you don't even realize what's keeping you stuck. And that's the same with me with executive coaching. I didn't even know like what I needed to work through. Uh oh, that's not good.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
It's okay.
there's no pauses there.
It's okay. We're good.
All right, hold on. Let me fix that. Okay, we're gonna do it with the dimmer light. Okay,
Okay.
so a lot of times when you don't really know what about you is turning guys off, and so executive, me as a dating coach can go in and then let you see what's not working and just help you navigate fixing the issue.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do as a dating coach. First, just help you interact better with men, and so that you are the person they want to choose. Because most of the times, the reason they're not choosing you is because they don't see what they want. They don't see the person they can spend the rest of their life with. And so I just teach you skills to help you be the person that they want to spend the rest of their life with. And for you, you're going to have a stronger relationship with more peace. Like me and my husband have been married for 15 years, and our marriage is really easy. Like it's so easy. Like we're everyone around us like marriage is hard and all this, and we're like, no, it's not. Like when people say all marriages are hard, I immediately correct them. I don't even know who the people are. If I see it on social media, someone saying all marriages are hard, I not all marriages are.
Do you think it's hard because maybe they didn't marry the right person, perhaps? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. That it's they didn't marry the right person, or they didn't learn these skills that I'm gonna teach women
Hmm.
um, in dating coaching. They didn't learn the skills of how to build a healthy relationship, or they married the wrong person. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's interesting. Um, okay, I have to rewind a little bit again. So you mentioned you also coach women at your church.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. So our church has small groups, and so when I first started becoming a or expressed interest in dating coaching, someone who has led small groups of the church said, "Well, you should start by leading women at the church." And
Hmm.
so I started. I don't know if it's been 2 or 3 years ago, but I started that about the same time that I started doing it for paying for church. It's free. It's just me teaching women, and so I was shocked because I was like, okay, I want to be a dating coach. Um, so there's all kinds. And I go to a pretty big church, and there's all kinds of groups. And so there's like hundreds, maybe thousands of groups at my church. So, but with my group, I started off around 60 women joined, and that shocked me. 60 women joined, and then it went to 100, and then it just regularly became about 200 women joined. The group
Wow.
that I'm running now, it's only 70 because I learned that there's more groups, so it spread out more. But
Okay.
it just regularly was like 200 women were joining, and I noticed that only like maybe it'll be like 150 when the groups start, but then they start telling all their friends about it, and then by the end it would be like 200. So I teach these skills to the women. Like the group that I'm working with now is 7 keys to unlock love, and I don't know what they thought the keys were going to be, but all the keys are dealing with them, what they need to do as a person. And it's not what the guy needs. It's all
It's
focusing on
we
them.
always want to put it on the other person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, so it's just rewarding. Especially like I recognize because there's so many, I don't know, but
Mhm.
like if I see something later in the church and someone's like getting married and stuff, I'm like, so people who went through my group and I could see that they're with someone now or that they're about to get engaged, stuff like that just makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
it is rewarding. That's
Yeah.
those are the things that count. It works. So I guess the question I have for you is women from church, right? We'll say Christian
Mhm.
women, I'm assuming Christian, but church women versus, women that you meet in the world to coach. What would be the difference? Like, what do you teach that might be different? Do you teach like Christian principles in it or no?
So I always teach Christian principles. I was trying to decide if I want to be a Christian dating coach, but I decided I wanted my messages to go to every woman. And so
Okay.
I'm not just a Christian dating coach, but I think what I deal with more with Christian women than any other women is just the sex before marriage and just helping them navigate between that part of it. The sex before marriage is more of an issue than with some of the other women. And I did have that experience where this random guy I met on the dating app, I told him I'm saving myself, and he was okay with it. And so
Hmm.
I tell the women, like, if once the guy has that connection with you and he feels safe with you, he will be willing to wait for you. So a lot of the Christian women deal with that of men wanting sex from them. Um, the men on dating apps wanting sex. And I said, once you learn the skills that I'm teaching about developing an emotional connection and you developing connection with the guy would be willing to wait for you because technically he can sleep with anybody. But if you're someone that he feels safe with, he could talk to about anything, he would be willing to wait for you. And that's what my
Yeah.
husband did. He was willing to wait. And so I give women hope that they don't have to sleep with every guy. I mean, they don't have to worry that they have to compromise their values for the guys that they meet off of dating apps.
And these are still women over 40.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there's a certain dating show or whatever, and I'm not gonna say the name of it, but it's a dating show that's out there. And of course, this person, she'll ask the people what they're looking for, the women specifically, what they're looking for. And they might say they're looking for a man that makes a certain amount of money, and he
Mm.
they might have about 5 kids, and they might say, I want to wait. I'm not going to have sex to get into marriage. And people will judge them so bad because they already have 5 kids. It's like, what are you waiting for now? You didn't wait before you had the 5 kids.
Right.
But it's just like people can start over. It's what they want to do.
Yeah, most of the women have had it before. I mean, some have not, but most of them have had it and they made the decision like I'm living my life according to Christian
Holiness.
values
Yeah.
and they've decided I want to wait. So, which is fine. I just help them navigate through that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Because I can see how that can be hard, and but I guess if you're meeting the right person, then they will wait.
They will. And I've asked my husband, like I bounce things off of him and he said, yeah, the guy, if he really wants you, he will wait for it.
Yeah,
Because I mean, once you get married, you can have it whenever you want. I mean, it's just a matter of just waiting until marriage. And like some of the couples I'm finding love online, they they got married in 19 days or 17 days
without
because
waiting too long.
yeah, yeah, just like, okay, I already know you're my person and I want that, so let's get married. Yeah.
hopefully they're marrying for the right reasons, right? And not just for that
Right.
purpose.
Yeah, no, they're still locked in with each other. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. I love the story, your backstory. It's awesome because I'm learning more about you just by sitting. That's the whole purpose of having these highlights is to learn more about, the individual people that join us on Fridays. So I appreciate you sharing your story, Dee Dee. And I know there's more to the story. There's always more to the story. Um, you know, I kind of want to like have a part two with you and your husband one day. I know you've done it, but because you all have a family now, right?
yeah, we have three kids, 10, 8, and 6. I always have to think about because my youngest just had a birthday. So we
Okay.
have a 10, a 8, and a 6-year old. And that is so important when you get married is making sure that the person that's going to raise your kids that you actually like them and agree with what their beliefs. And so raising kids with my husband has been wonderful. He's an amazing father. He's so good with the kids, and we just our ability to communicate with each other and like dealing with different things going on with the kids. We dealt with the incident I'm not going to bring up, but but we just had to. My husband and I had to just talk through how are we going to handle this because it's craziness. But yeah, I now I
But
feel like I have to tell.
y'all work together to make sure everything is whatever it is. Y'all work together.
All right, now I have to bring it up. So we just got an email from the school that a kid was caught with said that they were going to bring a gun to school, and so
Mm,
we had to talk through what we're going to tell our daughter, how we're going to handle this. So
mhm.
because we raise our kids the right way, they're subject to other kind of kids in
Nah.
school. So we
Yeah.
just have to figure out. We just had to navigate what we're going to tell her, how we're going to address the issue, and yeah, and one of my favorite parts about being married is just bouncing ideals, having someone to bounce ideals off of, because we'll just go back and forth with different situations trying to figure out how to handle stuff. And I love that's not just my brain thinking, it's both of us coming together, and usually together we make the best decisions.
Oh, I love that for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I want to see that for everyone else. Like
Hmm.
imagine, people having that level of cooperation, right? Coming
Right.
together. That's beautiful. Oh, I love it. Well, I'm going to say this. Watching your videos on, Flow, Finding Love Online, has been very inspirational to me. I have
Oh,
tried the whole, just to be transparent to the audience here. I've done the online dating off and off for many years. I've been married before, divorced, and I can say that it has not been the easiest thing, probably because I don't have a lot of patience. But the one thing I learned from watching your videos, and I encourage other people to watch the videos, is that these people were very intentional. And you even said it yourself when I spoke with you. It's like you kind of have to be intentional when you're
mm-hmm.
on these dating apps. So I got back on one of the online dating sites thanks to listening to a few of your shows, because the people were on this particular app. And the goal is just to be intentional, you know?
Yeah.
So
Good.
I'm really glad that we became Facebook friends. Even I came
Yeah.
across the videos before even adding you, so I'm grateful that I did because it truly has given me hope as a woman over 40 that would love to find love again.
Yeah, I have no doubt you're gonna find your person, especially now
I'm
that you're back
excited
on dating
about it.
apps. Yeah.
My attitude is always to be excited about it. I know these guys probably think I'm a weirdo because I'm always excited and like I probably sound like I'm excited. They'd be like, okay. I told one guy yesterday, I said, "You're not used to a person with a pure heart, are you?" Like, like you can't be. He said, "No." He said he's just used to negative women, so he doesn't think it's real.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna find a guy in no time because you do have such a positive attitude. So yeah, guys,
yeah.
yeah, you'll
I'm
find
I'm
someone.
grateful for that because I prayed for it.
Right.
I'm prayed for it. But I'm so glad that I met you, and I'm so glad that you have come to Caffeine and Connections because you're part of the family. So
Yes. And I'm
it's
gonna have you eventually on Finding Love Online once you meet your person.
Yeah, one of these days, I don't have any doubt about it. So, but before we go, is there anything else that you want to share with the audience that you want them to know about you?
That is a good. I think you covered everything. I'm trying to think if I have anything else, but definitely if you are a single woman who wants to be married, to just start watching the episodes, watching Get on Flow, just start watching it, because I do believe that dating apps are an easy way to find your spouse. And oh, there is one more thing. I just thought about that. Like, I grew up in a church thinking the whole time that the guy has to find you and you just sit there and wait for a guy to find you. And that's not how it works. I didn't find my guy until I actually got on a dating app, swipe, 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 and sent a message to my husband. I think maybe half of the women on the show actually, I don't know, some people call it making the first move, are initiated, but it can, on dating apps, it can go either way. But definitely, you sitting there doing nothing is not the way to find your spouse. So just consider getting on a dating app and swiping. So
And I cannot add to this. I'll say, and if you don't have the confidence, reach out to Dee Dee.
is yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that's why
So
she's a coach. She can coach you through it.
yeah, and hopefully I'll be able to leave some of my information down in the description if anyone wants to reach out to me.
Yes, we're going to put your info in the description on this episode. We'll be able to put the YouTube channel so they can go ahead and subscribe and watch all the videos, watch them. And then, so yeah, and Dee Dee, anything specific, anywhere they can follow you online, feel free to put that out there. We can also put that in the description.
Yeah, I think the YouTube channel is the best way for now. I also have Facebook and Instagram, and I'm Dee Dee Patterson, so that is easy. With Instagram, I had to use a zero because someone took Dee Dee Patterson. So
Okay.
for Dee Dee Patterson, instead of the O in the sun, there's a zero. So you can see me on Instagram and on Facebook too.
Awesome. Well, I'm so happy you were, usually with the Caffeine and Connections highlights, they're in the morning. Obviously, this is in the evening. So, so I didn't have my coffee. But this was just awesome for us to be able to connect. So yeah, we have to do this again. I'm pretty sure we can do a part two, maybe even a part three, because there's so much to dive into when we talk about, having a one-on-one and talking about the story. So, thank you, Dee Dee.
Yeah, this was wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you all for watching. This is Caffeine and Connections highlight. I want to say this is highlight number 5. We're going to say highlight number 5, where we are, this is where we cover real stories, real professionals, no black, right? This is where so, see you all later.